Leonardo da Vinci was a leading artist and intellectual of the Italian Renaissance who's known for his enduring works The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. A painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black, because all things in nature are dark except where exposed by the light. Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward, for there you have been, and there you will always long to return. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. I love those who can smile in trouble. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. I have from an early age abjured the use of meat, and the time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so life well used brings happy death. The smallest feline is a masterpiece. Art is never finished, only abandoned. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. The knowledge of all things is possible. Learning never exhausts the mind. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. The deeper the feeling, the greater the pain. The function of muscle is to pull and not to push, except in the case of the genitals and the tongue. Principles for the development of a complete mind. Study the science of art. Study the art of science. Develop your senses, especially learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end, as you cannot do what you want what you can do. I thought I was learning to live, I was only learning to die. The artist sees what others only catch a glimpse of. Life without love is no life at all. Iron rusts from disuse, stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does inaction sap the vigors of the mind. The time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look on the murder of men. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Time stays long enough for those who use it. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality. Realize that everything connects to everything else. I have offended God and mankind because my work didn't reach the quality it should have. All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. Water is the driving force in nature. Make your work to be in keeping with your purpose. God sells us all things at the price of labor. Our life is made by the death of others. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what has passed and the first of that which comes. So with present time, why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? Art is the queen of all sciences, communicating knowledge to all the generations of the world. I awoke only to find that the rest of the world was still asleep. The mind that engages in subjects of too great variety becomes confused and weakened. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. The acquisition of knowledge is always of use to the intellect, because it may thus drive out useless things and retain the good. For nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first known. Truth at last cannot be hidden. Dissimulation is of no avail. Dissimulation is to no purpose before so great a judge. Falsehood puts on a mask. Nothing is hidden under the sun. Many have made a trade of delusions and false miracles, deceiving the stupid multitudes.